Hey everybody, welcome to Thermal Dog Outfitters. Pretty excited to have you here. Tonight, we're going to have a discussion on one of the hardest things to answer. What thermal scope do I buy? That's a hard one, isn't it? You're asking all kinds of questions. You're getting all kinds of different answers. There's all kinds of experts out there. And even the experts, which are really good, and some of them I know, I consider them experts. I don't always agree with them. So we're going to talk about why I don't always agree with them. I'm just going to give you my opinions on the way I see it. Okay. So let's get started. There's so many types of thermals out there in the market that it's so difficult to figure out what to buy. What's even harder is when you're looking at them, you haven't touched them, you haven't seen them, you have no idea what they look like to be able to make even a pretty good informed decision. So now you ask the question to everybody, and hey, what's the scope? What's the best scope to buy? To be honest with you, that's the wrong question because you can be given an answer that's a $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 scope, and that may be the best scope, depending on who's giving you the answer, right? So, and it also depends on what their experience is. That's another key thing here, okay? So the best question, excuse me, I got a little bit of cough. I just have not been able to get rid of it, but the best question is, and something that I recommend for everybody is, what is your budget? What are you looking to spend? That's one, right? And number two is, where are you going to use it? Are you going to be in areas where it's pretty, it's a wooded area? Most of your shots are going to be 30, 40, 50 yards, 60, 80, 90, 100 yards. How far? Is it going to be in open fields where you're going to be doing, be hunting for coyotes? You're going to be shooting, 200, 300 yards. So what's the distance that you're looking for, or you're wanting to, to shoot at, right? Or are you going to be doing both? And so depending on what your budget is, depending on what the environment is you're going to be shooting, it's going to really depend on what you're going to buy, okay, and how much money you're going to spend. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what are the costs. I tell you what, some of the costs are as low as, for a thermal scope, I know ATN brought in the LT. There's going to be a lot of, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people as they're watching this video going to say, man, don't do that, don't go buy that, don't listen to Hector. Just hear me out, and then you make the decision based on the information that I provide you, and that's all the basics that I can tell you, right? Now, I messed a little bit with the LT, which is the ATN's Thor LT. It's about a $1,200 scope, roughly. It has no bells and whistles. It's a simple, it's just a simple thermal device. It's how far you can see. I didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to be able to honestly tell you that I could see real far, but I was able to see probably a few hundred yards pretty easily in the detecting. But as far as the sharpness on it, it's a whole different conversation. At the base magnification, it was okay. Once you start zooming in a little bit, it's a little bit more difficult. So now you're talking about a scope there. It's about $1,200, right? That's really kind of the entry level of scopes, to be honest with you. So then you move on to some. There's going to be some out there that I may have not mentioned, and I'll be quite honest with you. If I didn't mention them, it's not because I'm trying to ignore them. It's just the experience that I don't have, and I'm only going to share with you my experience, right? So with that being said, so what's what's the next level from there? ATN has another unit. I'm going to show you some of these units as we go. This is their other ATN unit that they have, which is the about a $2,000 scope. It is their ATN Thor 4. This is the 1.25 magnification up to 5 times, in other words. So I like the scope. Base magnification is good. It's a good scope. Not much higher than the LT. So why the higher price? This one comes with audio and it comes with video. Okay. If I were to sell this without audio and video, I would bring this down probably to about, I'd say about $1,400 is what I would consider this, that type of a scope, 14, 15 max. But the reason you're paying the extra is because you have video and you have audio. And for people like myself that love to hunt and video it and have the audio from it, this is excellent. This is perfect. Okay. I've heard a lot of things about ATN. There's a lot of people that don't like ATN. My experience, I haven't had any issues with it. Okay, I can't complain or tell you there's something bad. And there's enough people out there doing a lot of videos, lots of they do a lot of huntings, outfitters. Shane Kessler's one. I'm feel comfortable saying his name. He's just did a podcast. As a matter of fact, which I love listening to that podcast. This is exclusively what they use. They use the ATN product. So different experiences for different people, right? So that gives you an idea. Okay, so that's about the about $2,000 for that scope. Now, but I think there's a little bit better quality scope than this one for that price range. Now, mind you, it doesn't mean that the next ones that I'm about to talk to you, you're going to say, well, why, Hector, when you say that you can get a better quality at a lower price, maybe a little bit more with some extra features, why is this one? This is a whole different category, and I'm going to come back a little bit later on this ATN. I don't want to confuse everybody on what I mean by a different category with this ATN. So let's move on to the next scope, okay? Now, as I go on through these, I want to give you an analogy. I really want to give you an analogy. People are going to tell you, save a little bit more money, you get this one, okay? Look, those that drive trucks. Yeah, I'm going to give you an analogy with trucks. There's a Ford F-150, okay? I like the body style. Nice truck, okay? By the way, I'm on the Chevy. I just went from my Chevy to a Ford. Get over it. Just like these scopes, I'm looking for what I like the best, right? What works for me. Not what works for everybody else, but what works for me. I don't care if you're a Chevy person or Ford person. With that being said, is this. The Ford. I hear something. Anyway, let's keep going. The Ford F-150, the Ford F-250, the Ford F-350. Totally different models of truck, right? So, which totally different models means there's also totally different cost. One's going to cost you more than the other. One's got, because it's got more power, okay? Hey, one's got four-wheel drive, one don't, okay? So here's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I consider these, okay? I considered this, and somebody's going to dog me out. I'm going to consider this a Ford F-150, okay? It's kind of a stretch. I don't even consider it a Ford F-150. What's the next one? What's the next one? Is it the Ranger? Okay. I'm going to call it a glorified four-wheel drive Ranger vehicle, where the LT is a Ranger, little Ranger pickup. Okay, and try to give you a comparison as best as I can. Okay, so that's what this one is. I'm going to call this the Ford Ranger with four-wheel drive. The LT is the Ford Ranger. Okay, so basically it's the same truck with a little bit more things with it. Right, this one has the audio video, where the LT does not. Okay. So let's talk about some other scopes. Here's the next scope I'm going to talk about. I'm going to pick. Oh, actually, I'm going to pick the next one on the price list. It runs about. I can't remember the price. I think it's about $1,900, brand new, and that is the Pulsar Core. This is the RXQ30V. Is that what it is? RXQ? I don't know. You look it up, okay? But this is the one that has the one was they came out with the green tint. This is actually the black and white version. The one that came out afterwards. It's just, I like this. I like this scope. It's a really nice scope. What's nice about this scope is, because of the price range, about $1,900. Pretty. It's not very expensive. It's another good entry scope. The quality that you're looking through the view, it's great. You could see a long ways off as far as finding heat signatures, 300, 400, 500 yards without a problem. You're gonna be able to see this. Are you gonna be able to tell exactly what they are at that distance? No, but you'll know that they're out there. Okay, so if you know that they're out there, you know what direction to go. Okay, all right, my thing is blinking. I think I'm running out of time. Let's swap. All right, everybody, I swapped out. Hey, real quick, what I didn't tell you on the Pulsar Core is that what's nice about it, it's a nice little light unit. Take it off, use it as a monocular as well, which is kind of pretty cool. You can pretty much do it with all the scopes, right? But it's small enough that's real comfortable. Be able to throw in your pocket, be able to use it as a monocular. So if you're ever thinking of buying an extra, hey, I want to go get a monocular, because I have one on my rifle, I scoped already, but it's I can't take it off and on. That Pulsar that Core it's also pretty nice. Only thing is, if you want to put it on a rifle, you got to sight it in. It doesn't come with a quick disconnect. However, I heard that you can buy a quick disconnect for it. So let's jump into the next one. Like I was talking about, the next one in that price range. This one jumps up a little bit. Jumps up to, I believe it's about $21.95, and that is the Flir. Okay, this is the PTS233. I like it. It's another one that I like. A lot of people don't like him. I don't understand. Why? Most of the people, because they're not in the higher end scope. It's the lower cost scope. But you know what? Entry level scope. Again, it's not the Ford F350. It's not the Ford F250 with the 4-wheel drive, which is the one that I got. But this is a Ford F-150. Everybody, the Pulsar Core I showed you is a Ford F-150. Okay. And like any vehicle, some have 4-wheel drive, some don't. Some have all the nice stereo bells and whistles, have all the XM weather, whatever all you have, right? This right here has the, I want to say that both of those, the Core and this one, are pretty close to each other. I'll be honest with you. I think so. Clarity is a little bit better. I can honestly say this. Clarity is a little bit better on the Core. They've come out and they've updated it, and it looks a little bit better clarity, and the adjustments on it for contrast and on brightness are easier, and you have more options on the actual Core. This one not so much, but there's differences. Here's what I do like about this one and why I own one of this. As a matter of fact, I just ordered another one. A lot of people are saying, oh, by the way, yes, this company just shut down their consumer division, so they will not be selling these anymore to the general public anymore. They're going to be doing specifically their government contracts, their law enforcement, military, all that. I'm not sure all the details, and I don't want to assume. So what I'm saying is basically a lot of that's what's been communicated that we've been hearing, not necessarily 100% fact. Okay, so with that being said, with the sale of this unit, the sale's not anymore going to the consumers, what's going to happen? Well, you can still find these. They're not as easy to find, but you can still find them. So I'm not. As a matter of fact, I ordered another one. Like I said, so it's a good unit. I like it. Okay, you got a lot of people saying that they had some customer issues. They've had some. Flir is a big company. It's been around a long time. They said they're going to still warranty all their units, which I believe that they are. Like I said, they've been around. It's a big company. So very reliable unit. I like it. I have not had issues. Some people have, but guess what? People have had issues with even the high-end thermals as well. So it's just just different things that you hear. So I like it. Great unit. Highly recommend it. Has onboard video, which is really cool, really big deal to me. No audio, but it has video. Another thing is, it comes with a quick disconnect. I love this. Quick disconnect mount. So why is that important? What I've come to find out, I can put it on the scope and sight it in on the rifle, take it off, and use it as a monocular, put it right back on, and it maintains 0. So like I said, this is a very cool unit. You can't beat it. Shoot it. Take it off. We'll sight it in. Go on your hunt. Take it off your rifle. Look around, see if you see anything. Put it right back on your rifle. Take the shot when you find it. This is a real cool unit. Hence the extra cost, $21.95. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it so much, I don't care if they're shutting down. I ordered another one, and it's on its way. So pretty cool. So again, that is a Ford F-150. It's just the reality. It's a Ford F-150. But it has the 4-wheel drive. Okay, it has the video, right? It has this unit that you can take off, right? So it's got the lifted 4-wheel drive. I like it. I like it. It's the Ford, but it's still a Ford F-150 truck. Okay, those are what I call the entry levels. So I just talked to you about the Pulsar Core, the 30 there. I talked to you about the ATN, and I talked to you about the Flir, right? So those are the entry level. So let's go up into the I'm going to call the 250 area. The 250 area is kind of like these right here. This is the Pulsar XQ38. Okay, I like the Pulsar XQ38. When you look through one of those scopes, and then you're looking at about 200 yards, and you look through this, it's a big difference. Okay, but Now we're jumping into the 3,000 plus range. Okay, I'm not sure what the I don't think you can get XQ38s anymore. I think now you're in the trails models, and I'm not sure of the availability of those, and also at what price point. I think in the lowest maybe about $3,200 to about $3,500, somewhere in that range. Now we're talking Ford F-250. Okay, you're going to see a lot further distance. The other three I talked to you basically for them, they're about really 200 yards and down. The LT's about the LT's about 100 yards max is what I would say, and I would also say about 150, 200 yards with the ATN, the Thor for the 1.25 as well. It's I call those 200 yards or less scopes, with the light being 100 yards. That's just my opinion, right? There's a lot of people out there that know much better than I do, but they have a lot of experience. And I'm looking, and oh, by the way, put in your comments if you know for sure and you've already tried some of these. Kind of reiterate. Am I off track? Am I on track? By no means am I an expert. So this is everything that we're trying to share with everybody. So again, XQ38, right? So I'm not going to get too much into the details. You can look them up, pretty simple. But this is the next step up. Not a cheap jump by any means. However, man, now you can get out there and 200 yards out, 300 yards is kind of pushing it, even with the 38s. The detection range, man, I could see 800 yards, 1,000 yards out, and know there's a heat signature out there, and then I know which direction to actually walk to find out what that is. The clarity of them, as far as what the animal is, about 200 yards. I'll know about 200 yards what that is, and some people say 300 yards on them. I feel comfortable with 200 yards. Probably no more than that, because I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm shooting at. So if it's a yote or whatever the case may be, I want to make sure exactly. This is probably where I would say, if you're a coyote hunter, where you'd want to start off at a minimum. I think the next one I'm going to be talking about, and I don't have that scope here, is the 50. And I messed quite a bit with the 50s as well. Is the 50 is now you're talking into the I want to say Ford F-350, but it's a stretch. Okay, and the reason I say that, but you're jumping up to about, I'm not sure what those are running. Those are running probably about $5,000, somewhere around that area. Maybe they've come down, maybe they're a little bit less than that, maybe in the 4,000 or something. But either way, again, we're starting to climb up, right? So then the next step from up there that I would say, and oh, by the way, the 50s is definitely, if I was a coyote hunter long range, I'd be looking at a 50. That's just my opinion, okay? The next step up from there, and I'm going quick now on these things, is definitely the Ford 350 with the four-wheel drive, with the sunroof, whatever you want to call it, right? All the stereo, the super package, lift package. Now we're talking scopes like the Halo Envision. Then, boy, I looked at one of those and I saw for hundreds of yards, and I knew exactly what it was. I was watching deer at, I don't know, probably about 400 yards. I'm guessing 5. I don't know, but I knew they were deer. That thing was so awesome. But now you're talking what, $7,000-8,000 for one of these units. So the price goes up exponentially. So it's really important. This video is about talking about what's the right one for you. I can't tell you what the right one for you is. I'm merely sharing with you what all the differences are and giving you a comparison so that you can decide what you want to go buy. Yes, you want to listen to people and their experiences. You're going to have people that tell you that this sucks, the Flir sucks. You're going to have people that tell you that oh, by the way, ATN sucks, okay? But you're going to have people that tell you good things, right? So let me tell you my experiences. I've heard a lot that ATN sucks. I've heard it 1,000 times, and that the customer service, I've not experienced it, so I can't say that, and I won't. I've heard Flir, by some people say that it sucks, but I've heard, how many people are buying these left and right and that love these? I happen to be one of those people that complain as far as some of the issues in the service. You know what? I don't know what the service is like, because mine hasn't broke. So it's a good quality product, okay, for the price range where it's at. Okay, Pulsar, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Pulsar, a lot of people love Pulsar, and it's probably, in my opinion, I'm going to say it. It's probably the best product out of all of them. There's some higher end ones, but to be able to get in there for the average consumer, even though they're a little high end on the cost, Pulsar does a really good job with their scopes. Really, I've had them for years, by the way, and the customer service has always been great. But I had issues, and they dealt with it. So I can talk about customer service in that sense, and they took care of it, right? So I can't tell you about customer service at Flir and ATN. I've never had an issue, so I can't tell you. So, but hopefully that tells you also something that I've not had an issue. They've been good products for me so far. So you make that determination as to what you want to do. There's a lot of people that are using those products exclusively, and they love them. Okay. So what's the right one for you? Guess what? You ready for the answer? I don't know. You have to make that determination. But here's what I will tell you. There's enough people out there that have these products. Get on the forums. Facebook is a great place to go and get on the forums. Get on the hog hunting forums, the thermal sight forums, the thermal hunting forums. There's Pulsar. There's night hunting forums in there, or different pages. Go get on there and ask the question. And you're going to have a lot of different answers. But here's the other thing you're going to be able to find some deals on these as well. I ain't going to tell you what the deals I got, even though I didn't pay the full price on any of these. I've got deals on all of them. And it's because I went to those sites and I made some great friends, and they gave me some good deals. So don't listen to all the naysayers. You take a look at it, take all the information, and then you decide based on your pocketbook. Nobody knows your pocketbook like you do. And you know what? Don't put yourself and overspend on something that you may not be happy with because you spent all the money when you could have got something a little bit at a lower cost and still do the same thing for you, okay? So I'm not going to tell you what to get. I hope this helps you out a little bit. If you got questions, you know what? Send a comment. Subscribe. I appreciate all of you. We'll see you the next time. Bye.